Hey, so I want to talk to you about rows. How many rows? How many rows is my client going to need? Where do I go from here? How many pieces do I choose? And how do I know what they're going to need for the length of their natural hair, the density of their natural hair, and the inspiration photo that they sent me? So here's a great rule of thumb. If they want anything more than 2 inches, they're definitely going to need at least 2 rows. If they want anything more than 4 inches, they're probably going to need 3 rows. And now, however many pieces you put per row, one depends on if you're using machine tied hair or hand tied hair. I use hand tied hair. So I use anywhere between 4 to 6 pieces per row, depending on the density of the client's hair. And you can mix match the number of pieces that you put on each row. It doesn't need to be 6 and 6 or 5 and 5, 4 and 4. It can be 6 and 4. It could be 5 and 6, 5 and 4, 4 and 4, whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever you think that client's hair can manage. And that kind of comes in time as well. But something that I want to make sure you realize is that there should never be more than 2 pieces stacked on top of each other on your corner pieces. So as long as you follow that rule, usually the density in the back of the head is strong enough to hold up to 5 or 6 pieces. Again, that varies with client, and you're just gonna have to get a feel for it. And sometimes you end up taking out a piece at their next move up or adding a piece at their next move up. So it also kind of depends on how their at-home care is as well. So, for instance, if someone has hair to here and they want 22s, they're going to need at least 3 rows, and you're going to need to max out their rows. You're going to need to put as much hair as their hair can possibly take for it to blend and for it to not look stringy. If they can't afford all of that hair and all of those rows, then they need to go something a little bit more natural and subdued looking that they can afford until their natural hair gets to that length. Sometimes that can be a hard conversation to have with clients too, because you obviously want to give them the hair of their dreams, but you also don't want to give them something that they're not going to be able to take care of. So if somebody has, naturally my length hair, and they just want a little bit of fullness, you kind of go by, it's about 18 inches long. They really only need 1 row if they just want a little bit of fullness. If someone wants to be really dramatically full, they could get 2 rows, maybe 3 or 4 pieces on each row if they really want it to be super thick. Or you could go with 5 or 6 on each row. It really depends on the look that the client is going for. If they're looking to have like this big, huge mane of hair, you want to max out their rows, as long as their hair can take it. And now I say 2 pieces on the side stacked on each row, because usually this area of most people's hairline is less dense than the back. And if you stack more than 2, it can have a higher risk of slippage. So let me think of another scenario. So if somebody has super duper short hair, but they just want a bob, depending on how many inches. Now, sometimes you think, their hair's to here and they only want to go to here. That's about 2 inches, could be a little bit more. If they want to go to collarbone, that's pushing the limit. If you put 1 row in, it's not going to blend any blunt lines or their baseline out. You need at least 2 rows, even if it's only 10 inches. So that's a great rule of thumb to go by. If they want more than 2 inches of length, you're going to need 2 rows. If they want more than 4 inches of length, or they want it to be super crazy full, they're going to need 3. So again, go through maintenance with your client, how often they're going to need to come in, what it looks like to brush and blow dry and maintain all of those rows. If that's something that they're looking for, like a big transformation, you have to go over all of that with them. And if they're sticker shocked by that, you need to let them know, listen, there's other options. we can start with 1 row of your natural length, and then as your natural hair grows in, we can get longer hair and stick with 1 row, or 2 rows of a little bit longer, but not something so dramatic. So work with your client. That's the amazing thing about hair extensions, and especially hand-tied extensions, is that everything is so customizable, and you're really able to work with your client and give them the hair of their dreams. So hope this helps. Like and subscribe and follow if you found this helpful, and hope to see you soon.